is with great sympathy that I want to discuss with you the two up-and-coming TV documentaries with reference to the Slater case. Now grab that coffee or make it a beverage if you're not driving. And welcome to Al Don's Reviews and True Crime. Oh, I brought back mic number 12 or is it 13? I'm so confused now myself, but I brought it back again in the meantime as a filler. I can't find mic number 14 and 15. Number 13, it failed. It was a good mic, a rodeo mic, but as I say, branded ones aren't always the best. So I've ordered mic number, I've ordered mic number 15 or 16. It's got some noise cancellation, decibel reverby thing, I don't know. I'm not that technical, but it's got all that on there. But anyway, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I thought, this sounds fine. And I tried this one out as a sound test on my TV as well as my Android phone. It seemed to work all right. There was a minor hiss, but it seemed to work all right. So I don't know. Anyway, some aren't going to like this mic, but now don't quote me on this, but this came from a video from yourself, Chris Tenerife, that there were two documentaries. One I think was driven from the family, so that had nothing to do with Mark Williams Thomas, despite him mentioning or indicating that it was. And also a Spanish documentary that you indeed are involved in yourself, Chris. So, what do we think, people? What's the prediction of what the documentary's actually going to contain? There's talk of the documentary being factual. Do we think that it's just going to slag off content creators and tar them all with the same brush? Possibly not. Do we think the Spanish documentary is going to come from more of the authorities in Spain and the Guardia Civil? Now, great people, family people, just the same as the family of Jay. So some of them are probably very good and they were searching very hard for those first few days. And I do take my hat off to them and they were doing well. But other aspects of the case, it just seems to kind of ignite the feeling that the Guardia Civil as a whole aren't very good at their job. Just looking at all the other cases, that things happen, they seem to shy away. Anything that's perhaps has an involvement within rugs, or perhaps paints their town, their village, their island in a way that presents it as a murder zone. They don't want to do that. So in my view, it could be a biased documentary. What do you think? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just putting it out there. Just my view. Not factual. Nothing at all. So they may have information that might lead to something sinister. Mark Williams Thomas, before he did his 180, certainly indicated that there could be possible underworld connections in what was going on in the build-up to Jay going missing, Jay walking off that ravine. We don't really know, do we really? We don't really know an awful lot, because all we know is he got lost for some reason. We know other bits and pieces. We know he was sober, but obviously because the video, the message that he was taking the mickey out of Rocky in the car, mentioned about the 2 bottles of Hennessy and joked about this, about Rocky being asleep, perhaps a bit drunk because he had the bottles of Hennessy. You wouldn't say that if you were sober, would you? You wouldn't joke around. So he was pretty compos mentis at that time. We don't know a time zone, do we really? We're just presuming it was about, I don't know, 5 or 6 in the morning. So he certainly appeared to have sobered up. Before that he was falling around all over the place. But then again, I've said before, you do act more drunk around your friends at that age. And you do kind of put on a bit of a show. Oh, look, I'm drunk, look at me, I'm out of it. Oh, yeah, and then the talk of the town for the next week or so, isn't it, that you were out off your box, you know. But so he may not have been that drunk, but certainly on those few words on that video with Rocky in the car, he wasn't drunk. So he wasn't disorientated, was he? So he didn't go up the mountain knowingly. So there must have been a reason he went up the mountain, because he drove up there pretty sober, or was in the car, and he would have seen himself going up unless he had his eyes shut. And no one would have walked across that terrain to get back to his apartment completely in the wrong direction, and he was not disorientated, as I've just said. So then he just fell off that ravine and broke, how many bones was it? Lots and lots of bones. Didn't walk up the cliff top, no reason to do that and then fall off. It was in the middle where the cactus were to, I wouldn't say break your fall, you might break an arm, perhaps you might be unlucky and break a leg, but yeah, certainly, yeah, strange. And am I right in we all think it was a bit strange? And Chris, you wanted to work with a couple of the big content creators. They didn't want to know, for some reason they saw you as the enemy because you were being perhaps aggressive when other people were asking questions, maybe defensive in your view. And you did very well in the search as well. You did very well in that search. It looked quite thorough to me. I'm still confused as to whether you found the body or saw the body. I'm confused because the Guardia apparently, or the searchers or whoever they were, found the body. Just another question amongst the thousands and thousands of questions that the content creators have put forward in order to come to some sort of, I don't know, conclusion. The reason why the content creators carry on and on is because they don't get answers. They don't get answers. The family seem to not work with them. They just seem to appear to shut up and keep stum. That's why. So nobody's working together as such. There are some idiots who completely seem to fabricate things, or somebody fabricates it and then they follow on from that and they go on that because they believe that. And I can understand that happening. You believe what somebody who's pretty sincere says, and then you'll carry that on. So that's what I think the Spanish documentary is going to be like. But I could be completely wrong. It might be unbiased. The British documentary driven by the family, not sure what that's going to contain. There was a short interview, wasn't there, with Debbie and Zach, and that quite upsetting actually. It was quite upsetting. I did pretty much almost shed a tear on that because it was sad. Are they going to look into everything on the British documentary, or is it going to be similar to the Spanish, a defensive, saying how bad that they feel that online media went wild from day one or day two, and it carried on. I think all they had to do was make a public statement, even two or three of them online, and say we don't want you to talk about this. I would. And if anyone's got any savvy, they would. But there are some content creators that feel that even if the family say they don't want online creators to discuss it, they're going to carry on. I don't think that's right. Again, just my view, and they've got their view. But I don't think that's right, in my opinion. I feel that they're feeling they're losing a bit of cash, a bit of coin, perhaps. Some of them, it's their business, others they're trying to create a business, so they don't like it. And other videos they make don't make any coin, and the J one attracts a lot of attention and they make coin with that one. So that's my view. I could be wrong. Unless they think the family have got anything to do with it. And I don't think the family would. Why would the family have anything to do with murdering their own son? They wouldn't, in my opinion. The extended family and friends, perhaps they know more than we think. Perhaps they know more. They don't want to incriminate each other. So there is a viewpoint that they know more. But I don't think that's a reason to carry on. I don't think you should disobey the family and carry on forever just because you want the answers. Just respect the family, that's what I'd say. As with most of the content creators who've got some sort of sympathy and empathy, they've lost loved ones, they've been through it, they should know what it feels like. So hopefully it'll filter out, and certainly my end it'll filter out. I didn't make an awful lot of videos on it anyway, or I don't think I did, but some are making 6 a day, so if I make one a day, it'd only be for about 3 days or something like that in the beginning. But yeah, enough is enough, I think. So we wait the documentary, and in the hope that they answer some of the content creators' questions, and perhaps some of them will be involved in both of the documentaries. The other side of the seems the other side of the fence of the creators and people online, people that were kind of trying to help. Hopefully it will present their side as well, and also address the sensitive questions like the GoFundMe, perhaps the GoFundMe that started that was very odd and didn't need to start with a figure, and then there was all the to's and fro's, whether there was insurance in place to repatriate the body and what the GoFundMe was for. And the GoFundMe aimed, first of all it was 10,000, then they wanted to target 30,000, then it just carried on and on and on. I do understand, and the temptation to cushion the blow, but this is other people's money that you're cushioning the blow with. It's not a big rich insurance company, so yeah, perhaps that could be explained. And also the making of money from a situation like that, all the interviews, were they paid? The documentary, is it paid? Is it some way? Is somebody going to benefit from that in a financial way? Because otherwise it's hypocritical talking about the content creators who want to make a coin from a case like that and go on and on about it and make things up, and then they're making a documentary and they had a GoFundMe. So perhaps that could be explained as well on both the documentaries, Spanish and the English documentary. And I think what everybody hopes for, as they do with true crime cases, is they want answers. They want answers to things that have happened, strange things that have happened. They want answers to them. What do we think, everyone? What do you think? Put down in the comments what you think. You can also email, and hopefully we'll come to an unsolved conclusion to that case, even though the authorities say that it was solved and he just walked off the ravine, tripped over and fell off. But perhaps there needs to be an understanding from both sides, and I hope you understand this video and other videos that I've made. I can't speak for every content creator because they're all different, they've all got their different styles, etc. There are different reasons for doing things, and above all, don't let it bother you personally when you watch this, or you're watching true crime, or you're watching some of the bickering that's going on, some of the wars between creators. It's not overly positive, and I hope that that comes to some good, and some good comes out of the bickering and arguing. And I don't want it to be like the dark side or the dark web that I was involved before. We don't need body bags piled up. So when you go to bed tonight, please have a clear view of the world and a positive view, and please don't have any nasty dreams.